From the Owens Outcome Student Media Center, this is Community Connection, putting you in touch with what's happening within the community and on our campus. Here's your host.
Welcome to Community Connection. My name is Rob Thomas. Chloe Whiting Stevenson and Ren Clifford are our guests. They are both here to share information with us about the upcoming performance of Antigone. It's a marvelous performance. In fact, I had an opportunity to see some of the rehearsal. Wow, you've got a powerful role. For those of you that are unaware, Ren is playing the part of Antigone. And Chloe, you're the director.
Yeah.
This is a huge play and really quite fascinating.
Absolutely. So Antigone actually was originally a Greek tragedy, and it was written by Sophocles in ancient Greek times. And the version that we are doing is rewritten by an individual in the 1940s in France as a response to World War II. So they took the original text, cut it down quite significantly, but this play still runs full length with lots and lots of monologues, lots of character development, and it still does touch on some really important themes and concepts that we are bringing to life now.
One of the things that I enjoyed at the rehearsal was the fact that it is a much more somber-paced piece where, you know, you're used to watching film or TV shows, and it's bam, 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 pop. But you've got several scenes where I was amazed as I watched, just going, how do you memorize all? I could not do that. What's it like to play this part for you?
So this role specifically is a lot of strong emotions, and it's a very strong female character, which I've always really enjoyed playing. Like you said, it's a lot of lines, though, and that has been, I think, one of the hardest parts about this role specifically is memorizing those lines, and there's a lot of repetition of words, and that's done very purposefully, and so finding that repetition of the words and saying them differently and with meaning each time.
What is the play about?
So this play is about a family unit. Creon, who is Antigone's uncle, is basically the king of the land. They use the term king, but think of it more like a kingpin, if you will, for the time period. And he's basically running the society. Now, he's put there after Antigone's father passes away, and he takes on that role after both of Antigone's brothers also pass away. Not a happy play per se. Again, remember, it's a tragedy, so that's the way it goes. And with that in mind, basically Antigone is fighting to have rights to bury one of her brothers. And in the script, Creon has forbidden that because that brother basically went against his law. So it's genuinely a story about making choices and the consequences of those choices.
As you talk about the choices, now, what I saw, was that somewhere in the middle, near the end?
That's a great question. So this play actually it's written in a very French style, and what that means is that basically it's all about one character will exit and another character will enter, and the story just continues. And we've broken that down into 17 different scenes, and the scene that you came in on was scene 10, which is our longest scene in the entire play. It does take place between Ren's character Antigone and Heath's character Creon, and they talk for quite some time. It is the meat and potatoes of the play, if you will.
When we spoke in our pre-interview, you shared information about how the play is about choices. And not knowing the beginning and not knowing the end, what I saw seemed a lot about honor and tradition. Are those key parts as well, or am I way off base on that?
No, those are absolutely key components, and it really is about thinking about it from a philosophy of what is right in terms of family units and what is right in terms of law. And a lot of those things comes into play with how it's interpreted by each character. And then, once again, they make strong choices that juxtapose each other, and it causes a lot of conflict.
Strong choices, strong characters. What other characters other than Antigone would you say is a strong character?
So there's a lot of strong characters in this one. Creon is very strong. He keeps his way very much and is very set to hold his power. But there's also Antigone's sister, Ismene, has some very powerful lines of trying to convince Ismene to do what she thinks is right. There's the nurse character. She's very strong, has quite a few scenes of, she's almost like a mother to the girls and very much trying to care for them. Then there's her fiance, who is trying to stand either by his father's side or by his fiance's side.
Oh, that's a split right there.
Yes,
Tough decisions. And one of the things that I noticed, again, just watching a little bit of the rehearsal, and what I'm always fascinated about with a rehearsal is you can see the growth and the development of the performances based off of the rehearsal, then to actually see the production when it's presented to an audience. And you can see, oh, I see how they made a subtle change here, or they went with a dramatic change there to really impact the way the story is being told to the audience. There was one character that I noticed, and I was trying to be quiet, because I didn't want to break anyone's concentration or anything, but there's a guard who seemed more of comic relief, even though this is a tragedy. Am I off base on that?
You are not off base. We actually have two guards in the play, and both of them kind of contrast each other, and they have their own private conversations as the guards do, but they also both put on a very public face when they have to speak with Creon. And I would say additionally, the nurse also has some moments of comic relief, and it is a really important balance because a lot of this play is extremely serious and discusses a lot of really important themes. But you can't have a good tragedy without moments of lightheartedness, and there are several characters who genuinely bring that to the table.
And it appeared that the guard juxtaposed your position. You were being very serious, and you wanted this message delivered, and he's like, well, what is this all about? I'm not really sure I want to do this. And are you sure you know what you're doing? That's the way it kind of played for me, and I'm sure the audience is going to enjoy it. What are the dates for the play?
The dates for the play are April 10th, 11th, and 12th, with the show at 7:30 and doors opening at 7. And then the 13th, the doors will open at 2:30 and the show will be at 3.
This will be a marvelous performance for all to see. It's at the Center for Fine and Performing Arts Theater in the Center for Fine and Performing Arts building on the Owens Community College campus, and we hope that you can make it. Our guests today have been Chloe Whiting Stevenson and Ren Clifford. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Community Connection.
This has been Community Connection. If your group or organization would like to appear on Community Connection, message us from the Owens Community College Radio Facebook page. From the Owens Outcome Student Media Center, this has been Community Connection.